Good morning, friends. So, this is my next lecture on the same topic, that is the chemical thermodynamics. And today we are going to discuss the new point from the chemical thermodynamics topic, and the name of that point is enthalpy, isn't it? So, as far as enthalpy is concerned, enthalpy is simply defined as, it is denoted by letter capital H. Enthalpy is denoted by capital letter H, and enthalpy is nothing but enthalpy is nothing but it is the sum of internal energy and pressure volume type of work. It is the sum of internal energy and pressure volume type of work. Means whenever we say that enthalpy of system, then you have to consider the two terms, that is the internal energy of system and the pressure volume type of work, isn't it? Performed by the system or done on that system, isn't it? Means work done on the system or by the system. So in this case, it is the sum of internal energy and pressure volume type of work. Isn't it? So simply the addition of these two, in the sense enthalpy is defined in the mathematically form as H is equal to U plus PV. H is equal to U plus PV, where H is the enthalpy of system, U is the internal energy, P is the pressure, isn't it, of that gas which is enclosed in the cylinder. And V is the volume of the gas. Now consider if the system, suppose this is the system, and this system is in the initial state. And in that initial state it has, suppose, internal energy U1, its pressure of the gas is P1, and its volume is suppose V1. So these are the state variables. Which are fixed one, and as long as these state variables have fixed values one, the state of system is also fixed. Which we already studied one. Now suppose by means of any criteria reason, if the system changes into final state, and as it changes into final state initial to final, its internal energy suppose changes to U2, its pressure P2, and its volume suppose changes to V2. So as system passes from initial state to final state, the state variables changes on, and system attains new state. That is the, we call as, this is the one, that is the system under thermodynamic equilibrium, and by means of change in that thermodynamic parameters, isn't it, state variables one, system attains new, that is thermodynamic equilibrium. Now these are the initial and these are the final state one. So we change in the internal energy can be written as, yes, U2 minus U1, change in pressure P2 minus P1, and change in volume from initial to final, it is V2 minus V1. Isn't it? So as we writing all these in the form of difference means the sense, this indicates that all these parameters, means internal energy, pressure and volume, are the state function, and all these are the state function. Therefore the enthalpy of system must be in the initial state H1, it changes to final state H2. That's why delta H means enthalpy is also state function. So simply from these definitions we can write here as like this. Suppose if we can write, that is the enthalpy of system is given by the equation, that is H is equal to U plus PV. As enthalpy is state function, therefore change in enthalpy, delta H is equal to H2 minus H1. Change in enthalpy is written as delta H is equal to H2 minus H1, isn't it? So we know that is the initial state, just we already just discussed. Where is U1, P1 and V1 are the initial thermodynamic parameters, and they changes to final state U2, V2 and P2. So from this initial and final, the change enthalpy of system is written as H1 is equal to U1 plus P1 V1, and in the final state, that is the H2 is equal to U2 plus P2 V2. This is the enthalpy of system in the initial state, and this is the enthalpy of system in the final state. And as already told you that enthalpy is the state function. Enthalpy is state function. So substitute the value of H1 and H2 in the equation. You call this equation first. You call this equation first. So delta H is equal to H2 in the sense this value. So U2 plus P2 V2 minus H1 in the sense, yes, H1 in the sense U1 plus P1 V1, isn't it? U1, it is actually plus P1 V1, okay, plus P1 V1, actually it is minus, just we going to rearrange in that term. So then out rearrangement, what we have to rearrange? Just rearrange the similar terms, initial and final term. So just internal energy U2, initial internal energy U1, pressure P2 V2, pressure P1 V1. So on rearranging U2 minus U1 plus P2 V2 minus P1 V1, P2 V2 minus P1 V1. Now just consider, just U2 minus U1 is the difference in the change in internal energy, so we can write as delta U, plus P2 to P1, P2 minus P1, delta P, V2 minus V1, delta V. So we can write as a delta PV, So delta H is equal to delta U plus P delta V, Suppose if this process, okay, is carried out, okay, at suppose constant pressure. If process is carried out at constant pressure, as pressure is conducted at constant pressure, in the sense pressure inside the cylinder, that is the pressure of the gas, is exactly equal to pressure external, outside means piston, outside the piston, they all are equal. Therefore suppose consider it is taken as a P. So as it is taken as a P, so delta P in the sense difference, but all they are same. That's why just we replace delta P by P. So we can write as a delta H is equal to delta U plus P delta V. Okay, it is a relation between delta H and delta U, P delta V at constant pressure. Now see, if you consider one more point, that is the isobaric process. That is we conducted here. Okay, isobaric process, and just try to recall the, I think, second or third period on the same topic. We applied the first law of thermodynamics. That is the, yes, first law of thermodynamics, that is the U is equal to, delta U is equal to W plus Q or Q plus W. We are applying the first law of thermodynamics to different types of process. And in that case, for applying the first law of thermodynamics to isobaric process, we arrange like this equation. According to first law of thermodynamics, we can write as delta U is equal to Q plus W. And if suppose process is carried out at constant pressure, the work done against constant external pressure, this expression is given as W is equal to minus P external into delta V, which we already derived also, this equation, isn't it? So if you look here, the P external means external pressure, that is pressure over that piston, and here we assumed that pressure of the gas exactly equal to pressure of the external piston and P, all are constant. So here replace this P external as a P only. If you replace this P external as a P, it becomes P delta V. Substitute the value of W as a minus P delta V in equation. You call this as a, suppose we clear here one part, we are going to study the second part. So you write here equation first. Isn't it? So substitute the value of this in this equation. We get delta U is equal to Q plus minus P into delta V. On rearranging this equation, so Q is equal to delta U plus P delta V. Isn't it? And if you carefully observe the second equation, and suppose here in this case you call this as a, suppose, third equation, and this is the fourth equation. If you carefully observe the third and fourth equation, the right hand side are same, delta U plus P delta V. So left hand side becomes same. And one more point I would like to tell here, this process is carried out at constant pressure. Means heat supplied or removed from the system, it is at constant pressure, path is fixed. So you have to mention here QP. So subscript P means heat supplied at constant pressure, heat removed from the system at constant pressure. So right hand sides are same, therefore delta H is equal to QP. Delta H is equal to QP, isn't it? Delta H is equal to QP. So change in enthalpy is also considered as a heat change in heat or heat transferred at constant pressure. Heat transferred at constant pressure. So delta H is equal to QP. Delta H is equal to QP. So it is most important because in the calculation problem, in solving problem, they don't ask directly calculate the change in enthalpy. Instead of that, they ask the calculate the heat transferred by the system at constant pressure. Heat transferred by the system at constant pressure. So to calculate QP, in the sense you have to calculate same enthalpy change, delta H, isn't it? So this is about the enthalpy. Okay. Now we are going to consider the change in enthalpy or the relation between delta H and delta U in chemical reactions. So far we have discussed it is the change in, suppose simply a gas is there, over that piston is placed, and the change in pressure, volume, type of work, etc. Now we are going to consider the chemical reactions in the piston also. It is the relation between delta H and delta U in chemical reactions. Isn't it? Chemical reactions. So as chemical reactions has to be occurred. Now consider some chemical reactions, in the sense reactants are converted into products. Reactant has to be converts into product in any chemical reactions. So as reactants are going to converts into product, so there is a change in, mostly there is a number of moles are going to change. Okay, number of moles are going to change. So just if you consider the equation which we already derived, that is the change in enthalpy, delta H is equal to delta U plus P delta V. We call this equation first. Okay, call this equation first. And if you consider the reactant which we taken in the, suppose cylinder, reactant which we are going to taken in the cylinder, या सिलेंडर मध्ये जो आपण रिएक्टंट कन्सिडर करणार आहे, सुरुवातीला रिएक्टंट कन्सिडर करणार आहे. सपोज इफ दिस रिएक्टंट इज इन द सॉलिड स्टेट or suppose in the liquid state, it is in solid or liquid state. Just if you imagine the cylinder or piston is placed. Remember, in thermodynamics, whatever reactions or process we are going to consider, almost all are considered in a, it is the what we call as a cylinder, isn't it? Cylinder fitted with rigid, frictionless, movable piston and so on. Reactants which are considered in solid and liquid state. Then remember, well, in solid and liquid state, the pressure over the piston, that is P external, due to change in that pressure, the volumes of solid and liquid does not change considerably due to change in the pressure. Means if you decrease the pressure, external pressure, or you increase the external pressure one. Okay, जरी प्रेशर वाढवला तरी आतमध्ये असणाऱ्या सॉलिड किंवा लिक्विडचं व्हॉल्यूम फारसं कमी होणार नाही. बरोबर काय? म्हणजे थोडक्यात दे डोंट गो अंडरगोइंग कॉम्प्रेशन. Okay, they don't undergo process of compression, or if you decrease the external pressure, they don't undergo the process of expansion. It is the solids and liquids one. So other we say that solids and liquids are slightly compressible, but solids are incompressible due to arrangement of atoms. Okay, in that molecule there is no intermolecular space is there in solid state one for the compression one. But liquid possesses some space and gaseous possesses much more space. Rather, we can say that the gaseous molecules are free to move. That is, their discrete particles, isn't it? Separate particles, that they possesses the high phenomenon of compression. So as delta change in volume is not observed one, in the sense initial and final volume both are same. So as initial and final volume both are same, in the sense delta V comes out to be zero. For solids and liquid, and as delta V comes out to be 0, P delta V comes out to be 0. This whole term comes out to be 0, and therefore for delta H is equal to delta U, it is only for solids and liquids. So remember, well, for solids and liquid state, the enthalpy change is exactly equal to internal energy change. Why? Because there is a volume change does not occur. Okay, in case of solids and liquids. But now if you consider the reactants are in gaseous state, then we can't apply this assumption here that the change in volume is 0. But in gaseous state, it undergo process of compression, it undergo process of expansion. And as it undergo process of expansion and compression, means there must be some amount, it possesses the value of delta V. डेल्टा व्हीची व्हॅल्यू काहीतरी असणार आहे, आणि जर डेल्टा व्हीची व्हॅल्यू काहीतरी असेल तर दिस पी डेल्टा व्ही डज नॉट इक्वल टू 0. जस्ट कंटिन्यू द सेम equation by considering the reactants which we are going to fill in the container, suppose in the gaseous state. Suppose in the gaseous state, we call this equation first. In the gaseous state, suppose gaseous reactants are there. Now if gaseous reactants are there, then yes, delta H is equal to delta U plus P. Just split delta V as a V2 minus V1 into bracket V2 minus V1 into bracket V2 minus V1. Now just multiply the pressure term to both the volumes. So delta H is equal to delta U plus PV2 plus minus minus PV1. PV1. And just remember once again, we are performing here the gas which is filled in that container. It is ideal. It is ideal gas one. Means we assume that it behaves ideally. It behaves ideally. So as gas is considered to be ideal gas one, so according to ideal gas equation, it is the PV is equal to nRT. PV is equal to nRT. So change in the pressure. So actually pressure volume of the gas changes from V1 to V2. Number of moles changes. R and T both are constant. Okay, R and T, suppose it is constant one. So as constant one, and here pressure is also kept to be constant. Just only change in the volume and number of moles. Volume and number of moles. So for initial state, we written this PV is equal to nRT equation for initial condition as like this. PV1 is equal to N1RT for initial, and for final state, it is initial state. It is initial state. And for final state, PV2 is equal to N2RT. N2RT. Remember well, pressure constant. RT remains constant. Only change in the volume from V1 to V2, from number of moles N1 to N2. So substitute these values in equation. We'll get delta H is equal to delta U plus PV2 in the sense this N2RT minus PV1 in the sense N1RT. N1RT. Now if you consider this part plus after addition plus sign, N2RT minus N1RT, take RT common. So N2 minus N1. So if you rearrange, delta H is equal to delta U plus this N2 minus N1 into bracket RT, outside the bracket RT. So as there is a change in number of moles, N2 minus N1 in the sense change in number of moles. So delta N is the change in number of moles. Change in number of moles of the that is the gas during conversion from reactant to product. So it is N2 minus N1. N2 minus N1. So instead of that we can write delta N. So delta H is equal to delta U plus delta nRT. This equation gives the relation between, that is the delta H and delta U. As delta N term is entered, that's why it is chemical reaction. There is a change in number of moles. Remember, isn't it? Now one more point I would like to tell here. That is the work done. In chemical reactions. Work done in chemical processes or reactions. Isn't it? So as far as the work done in process is concerned against external pressure, we studied that is W is equal to minus P external into delta V. Now if here we put, that is the external pressure and pressure of the gas remains same. So we suppose P of the gas, general P of the gas, both are same. So we can replace, that is W is equal to minus P delta V. So delta V in the sense V2 minus V1. So W is equal to minus P into bracket, yes, V2 minus V1. In the sense W is equal to minus PV2 plus PV1, isn't it? PV2 plus P minus plus, it has become PV1, isn't it? Now if you continue the same equation as here, according to ideal gas equation, again according to same condition, ideal gas equation, PV1 N1RT and PV2 N2RT. So substitute these values. So W is equal to minus PV2 in the sense minus N2RT plus PV1 N1RT plus N1RT, isn't it? So on rearranging this equation we get minus N2 minus N1 outside the bracket common term RT. RT. So W is equal to this minus remains same. So N2 minus N1 just written here, that is the change in number of moles. So delta N RT. So it is work done in chemical reaction. W is equal to minus delta nRT. Now in the same equation, if we consider, that is the possibilities of delta n. First possibility of delta n च्या व्हॅल्यूज काय काय असू शकतात. ओके, डेल्टा एन च्या व्हॅल्यूज काय काय असू शकतात. पहिली व्हॅल्यू म्हणजे डेल्टा एन इन फर्स्ट केस, इफ डेल्टा एन, इफ यू कन्सिडर N2 minus N1, if it is positive, when it becomes positive, delta n, when this delta n positive, that is the when delta n is positive in the sense, if you consider the N2 is greater than N1, isn't it, then delta n positive, N2 is greater than N1, then this delta n positive, but this minus sign as such were given to work. So in that case work is negative. So remember well, just I would like to tell here, that is the equation, that is the delta W is equal to minus delta n RT. So in that case, if delta n comes out to be positive, when it comes out to be positive, N2 minus N1, in that case N2 must be greater than N1, then delta n positive. And when delta n positive, work W is found to be negative. As work is negative in the sense, work is done by the system. On the surrounding. First situation. Second situation, as far as concerned, delta n suppose negative. So when delta n is negative, N2 is less than N1. But N1 ची value जास्त and N2 value कमी. In that case delta n negative, and this negative, it becomes positive. It becomes work positive. So in that case W comes out to be positive, and as W comes out to be positive in the sense, it is the work done on the system. And third case, that is the delta n is equal to 0. When delta n becomes 0, that is the N1 is exactly equal to N2. दोन्ही जर इक्वल असतील तर त्यावेळेला डेल्टा एन काय येणार, 0 येणार. आणि ॲज डेल्टा एन कम्स आउट टू बी 0, होल टर्म कम्स आउट टू बी 0. सो इन दॅट केस नो वर्क, और वर्क इज 0 इन द सेन्स नो वर्क इज डन. Isn't it? Consider. Hope you understand all these things. And one more point question may asks, it is homework for you. Just study these things and all. And just homework is that from first equation, that is the delta H is equal to delta U plus P delta V. Delta H is equal to delta U plus delta N RT, and W is equal to minus delta N RT. So just tell me the conditions under which, not this equation, for these two equation, conditions under which delta H is equal to delta U, होण्याच्या conditions कुठल्या असणार. Okay, just look and then draw there are three conditions at which delta H becomes equal to delta U. Hope you understand all these things. Next lecture we are going to consider the next point from the same topic. Okay, good day.